All right. Call the meeting to order. Well, welcome here, everybody. Haven't seen you in a long time. Well, today I was at the SCU and at their event and at their AGM, and it's always an interesting event, right? Because people go there because they care, but because they want to hear what's going on. There's some prizes. They want to have some fun, and they're genuinely interested in some of them are genuinely interested in the what's going on with the credit union, and they are a remarkable success story for our community, and we have to be certainly very proud of what they've done for us as a city, as a region, and also they're having reaches far farther than we as a city. And so, but their slogan is "Stronger Together," and it's an interesting slogan. When you think of it, "Stronger Together" is an important slogan. It's marked their success. But if you ever think of it in a way of just a personal situation, how two is better than one, or more people working together are better than fewer people. And if you ever have moved a couch, you know very well that one person compared to two people is not half as effective, it's much less effective. And so, or if you've had small kids, which I think all of us have had, with one parent taking care of two children, it's often more difficult than, exceedingly more difficult than just two parents taking care of it. And Annalie has clearly identified that with me this last week. I was gone for about 5 days. And I recognize that because then she promptly leaves them with me, and I don't know where she goes, but she goes somewhere. Just to prove the point, we are stronger together. Us as council, we are stronger together, even though we disagree as we move forward and we work together to build our community. We are stronger because we have multiple voices and we have multiple ideas, and we can move forward together. And I have to say, when it comes to municipalities, we are stronger together so often. And we recognize that as a council when we worked with Hanover over the last number of years to work together on land use issues, whether it's our landfill agreements or our fire agreements. We are a stronger voice and a better grouping when we work together. And so we hear it so often, we kind of think, yes, whatever, but it really is evident in every part of our life, whether it's personal or whether it's at council or whether it's as communities. If we work together, we will be stronger. And so I've been very proud of the work that we as a council have done with our neighbors, and that work isn't done yet. We'll continue to do that, but it's an important reminder that we can continue to do more by cooperating with a bigger group. So that's my opening for today. We will now move to the agenda. We have the agenda in front of us. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Swagstra. Any discussion? Discussion?
Do we need to add this to the agenda?
It is an addition. It was given to you beforehand, so just take note of that. It's number 11D. Thank you, Councillor Fair. Seine-Rat River Conservation District to offer to purchase. Any further questions or discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. We have the minutes in front of us from March 7th on page 1. Can I have a motion, please, to accept those minutes? Councillor Siemens, second by Councillor Penner. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. There's no business arising from the minutes. We do not have any public hearings today, and so we will move to reports and recommendations from the City Manager. Mr. Workentine, do you have anything to add, or should we switch to administration?
No reports at this time.
All right. Then we'll move to 9A. It's accounts payable in the back of the book. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor Funk moves to approve. Seconded by Councillor Siemens. Any discussion? Any further questions? Call for the question. All those in favor? We have the financial statement ending the 31st of January. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Fair. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Need a motion to accept the February 28th financial statements as well. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Swagstra. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. On page 5, we have excavator licenses. There's a motion on the bottom of page 5. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Councillor Fair, seconded by Councillor Funk. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. We have bylaw 2075. This is the rezoning on 24 Ellice Avenue. This is on page 13. Mr. Workentine, we did give this first and second reading, and we were expecting this to go to Municipal Board. Can you give us an update?
Yes, there was an opportunity for the one objector registered at the city's public hearing at the time of second reading. The property owner did not further object to the Municipal Board, and therefore City Council may give this bylaw third reading, and that is recommended.
Okay, thank you. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Swagstra?
I'll move third reading.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Siemens. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's good that this project is able to go ahead and that the one objector has withdrawn their objection. I think last council meeting we made an effort to accommodate some of the concerns were raised in terms of privacy by having a 6-foot wood fence and making sure there's a height restriction on the proposed development. And so with that being put in place, it's a good project to go ahead.
Thank you. Councillor Siemens? Anything further from Council? Anything in closing? Call for the question. All those in favor of third reading? Carried. Thank you. We move to 9F, the bylaw 2077, the street renaming. This is also a third reading on page 19. Mr. Workentine, anything further to add?
No, this matter was given first and second reading at last council meeting. If council proceeds to third reading, then Clearwater can then finally be converted and named Avenue.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, please, for third reading? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Siemens. Any discussion?
No.
Anything further? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. We have the 9G, bylaw 2078, 2017 Realty and Education Tax Levy. This is page 23. Mr. Workentine, I'll ask you to introduce this.
This is the 2017 Realty and Education Tax Levy bylaw that administration is requesting for council's consideration for. This is an annual requirement in order to authorize the mill rates that were in the 2017 financial plan to be applied and to the city's 2017 tax statements. The mill rates are as listed in the bylaw document that's found on pages 25 to 27. In addition to the tax levy bylaw, the City of Steinbach is also in receipt of information from both the province of Manitoba and the Hanover School Division with respect to the 2017 education tax levies. Those levies have now also been reflected in the city's 2017 financial plan and are reflected in the mill rates as are noted. Recommendation is for council to give this bylaw first and second reading.
Thank you. Council, how would you like to proceed? Council? Councillor Fair, please.
Move first reading.
Move first reading. Thank you. Is there a seconder? Thank you. Councillor Siemens, go ahead. Go ahead, Councillor Fair.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is something that we go to annually, and some of the levies that we see here are not necessarily at our doing, but it's something that we're required to do, and so I think we have a modest increase, and so I think that it's something we have to do. So.
Thank you. Further discussion, Councillor Siemens.
Just further that it is our bylaw, but also that the Hanover School Division amount is set in here as well. So there's also a substantial increase, but it is an increase that they've put forward, and we have no choice but to select it.
Thank you. Further discussion? Councillor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I plan to vote the same way on this one that I did in the initial, when we had an initial look back in February, which means I'll be voting against. While there are many good things in the budget in regards to the operating lines, the fact is that the largest line item in the capital budget is the Performing Arts Centre. I don't support the project in its current format, so I will therefore be voting against this as I voted last time in February.
Thank you. Anything further from council? Anything in closing?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I guess I don't quite understand why it would be an issue that we put something in a line item that may be there that will come from an extra source, but if that's the way that goes, that's whatever it is, but I think it's something we have to do anyways.
All right, thank you. Council, this is a discussion we've already had in surrounding the budget. Obviously, there wasn't unanimous agreement, but we did choose to move forward at that time. Obviously, I'll be voting in favor of this. Call for the question of first reading. All those in favor of first reading? Opposed? Carried. Can I have a motion for a second reading, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Fair. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Anything further from council? Councillor Swagstra?
No, I still feel the same way.
Okay. Anything closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Business Tax Levy. This is 9H, first and second reading on page 46. Mr. Warkentine, briefly introduce this.
This is the comparable tax levy bylaw for the city's 2017 business taxes. Similar in that council must approve this tax rate by bylaw. Recommendation is for council to give this bylaw first and second reading as well.
Okay, thank you. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Fair?
Move to approve it.
Move to approve. First reading, thank you. Second by Councillor Siemens. Any discussion?
Just briefly, Mr. Mayor, this is something that we collected and we turn it over to the chamber for their operation, so it's basically in and out with a small percentage that we get to keep for the administration.
Thank you. Further discussion? Anything further from council? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Can I have a motion for second reading, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Penner. Any discussion? Anything further? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. We have page 50, the Municipal Board Appointment Delegation, 991 or 9I, sorry. Mr. Warkentine, do you want to just briefly introduce this?
Yes, earlier in I believe actually in late 2016, the arm of La Broquerie received an application for a zoning bylaw amendment. The details are found starting on page 50 of your agenda package to rezone a certain parcel of land just outside the city's boundaries in the arm of Hanover, arm of La Broquerie to rural commercial industrial zone. It appears as if this application is contrary to the development plan. The City of Steinbach has filed an objection to the application. What administration is seeking from council is authorization for both myself and the city's planner, Lacey Godet, to represent the City of Steinbach at the Municipal Board hearing that's scheduled for May the 2nd.
Okay, thank you. Just for clarification, is this in the zone where this, I guess we're calling it a transition zone, where there's a duty to consult? Did that consulting take place?
It did not.
Okay, thank you. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Swagstra?
I'll move approval of the resolution on page 54.
Thank you. Second by Councillor Penner. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's important that our transition zone be respected, and particularly when there's a duty to consult, we expect to be consulted. And so it's appropriate that we register our objection and that we make sure that we have our city manager and city planner there to make it clear why the city objects to this development.
Thank you. Anything further? Anything further from council? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Mr. Warkington, just for clarification, did the municipality of LeBrokery staff or anyone contact you in regards to this at all?
I have had a call from the applicant
Okay.
shortly after the public hearing, but no contact from any other connected party since.
All right. Would it also be appropriate to send a letter to the LeBrokery just asking them to respect the transition zone and the duty to consult as well, besides going through this process with this one?
If that is council's desire, I can arrange for that.
Council, are you comfortable with sending a letter like that? I think as good neighbors, we want to just remind them of the deal or the agreement that we have between us, and I think it's important to do that as well. Thank you. Any questions of council? Seeing none. We have 11A, correspondence from Chris Krahn in regards to community broadband, page 55. Council, any questions? Take that as information. We have 11B, a grant request from page 50, from Kids Sports. We'll take that as information.
Leave it up to the mayor.
All right. 11C, the financial audited report from the Jacob Library. You've all had a chance to review that. It's on page 59. Mr. Warkington, is there anything to outline there? It all looked very straightforward.
Yes, there aren't any particular or unusual circumstances or bits of information within the financial statements that I am aware of. And it does provide a comprehensive picture as to the financial affairs of the library for 2016. The requested resolution does appear on page 70 of the agenda package.
Excuse me. All right, Council, on page 70, you do have a resolution. How would you like to proceed? Councillor Penner, move to approve. Second by Councillor Penner. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Anything further from Council? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. We have 11D. That's the added package that you all received. There. This is in regards to the Conservation District. Mr. Councillor Fair, do you want to just highlight what this request is and what your recommendation would be?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Armor Brokery has been very good to the Seine-Rat River Conservation District. As a matter of fact, it was birthed there. So last fall, they notified the Conservation District that we should start to look for alternative office space because they were running low and on space themselves. So the chair and the manager of Conservation District spent countless hours looking for space, and we looked. They looked high and low. They looked at. I think we narrowed it down to 4 locations, and we've kind of came up with a preferred one, which was 150. The purchase 150 for Fraser Avenue. It fits the office, storage, and financial parameters that we're looking for. And because we have so many municipal partners, we have to, we can't just unilaterally go and decide to spend the money. So I'm going to read the resolution that was put forward here, and then I'll entertain some questions if anybody has some. Whereas the City of Steinbach has reviewed Seine-Rat River Conservation District's office proposal to purchase residential property at 154 Friesen Avenue in Steinbach, Manitoba for the purpose of establishing a Conservation District office. And whereas the Seine-Rat River Conservation District requests authority from member municipalities to borrow up to $210,000 for said purchase, as is over the current approved limit of $50,000 set out in their order in council. And whereas the amount borrowed will be in the form of a mortgage solely to fund the purchase of said office, will be closed when the balance is paid in full. And whereas the province of Manitoba and the member municipalities of the Seine-Rat River Conservation District, including the municipalities of Emerson, Franklin, Richot, municipality of Springfield, St. Anne, Cache, Hanover, LeBrokery, Piney, Reynolds, DeSalbray, and Sturburn, towns of St. Anne and Niverville, the village of St. Pierre, and the city of Steinbach will assume full financial responsibility for the mortgage in the event the Seine-Rat River Conservation District ceases to exist before the mortgage is paid off, subject to provisions of the Municipal Act and the Conservation District Act. Therefore, be it resolved that the city of Steinbach approves the request for a temporary increase in the Seine-Rat River Conservation District's borrowing authority for the specific purpose of acquiring property for a permanent office. So I'm going to move, and I'll explain a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councillor Fair. Seconder? Councillor Funk, go ahead.
Yes, the what happens when these things is if this conservation district was to close down or become insolvent, what would happen is the property would be sold and the assets would be divided among the municipalities that are there. There's really not much risk involved. It's just something that I know that some of the other municipalities in the area were kind of dancing. They really didn't want to see them go into Steinbach, but I think this is a good option for us, and the province has endorsed this highly. You know, they're saying that they think this is a good idea for us to purchase property instead of rent. So,
All right, thank you. Further discussion?
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. I really think this is a good idea. I think it's a good idea to have them in Steinbach. Steinbach is fairly central in many ways. Very good traffic or highways getting to where they need to go. And if you ever in their offices were tight. They had no boardroom, they had no storage. This is going to be given a garage, a basement. They'll be able to have a boardroom. I think this is a really good place for them to be, and it's going to be very cost effective once they've renovated.
Thank you. Further discussion? Any questions? Councillor Penner.
So one of my questions is, I know the area is C1, but it's in a residential street, is that correct?
no, it's designated commercial. Is that correct?
Yes, the proposed location is at the corner of Friesen Avenue and Brant Street. The property is currently zoned C1. Its offices are a permitted use in that zone.
All right, further discussion?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question to Councillor Fair. Does every single municipality need to agree? Like, what happens if, let's say, most of them agree and one doesn't? Does this require unanimous consent among the municipalities?
No, to you, Mr. Mayor. The conservation district requires a 50% plus. We are looking for unanimity, if at all possible. Right now, I think there are two municipalities that are undecided, and so they're having I shouldn't say that. I should say that they're having their meeting within the next 2 days, and so we have to have this done by the end of the month. So I think it's probably going to be unanimous, but we don't need unanimity.
Okay.
Thank you. Further discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Fair. There's no other business. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Fair. All those in favor? Thank you.